Hey guys, it's Spalding here, and today I'm joined by the championship IDC winner, Darksigner. Hi, Darksigner.
Hello, guys. It feels very good to be called that. Nice
It's
feeling.
something new, and you even have like a new role on the Discord
Yeah,
channel with a
yeah.
good color and stuff.
I was the first one. Let's see who takes it next time. But yeah, very very nice feeling that I came through first place with my deck that I'm known for.
Yeah, definitely. You're known for your Phobos control deck, and you have built quite a long time on this deck, and you also yeah, they'll make changes after all these years. But let's just first talk about the matchups in the tournament. What did you predict? And yeah, was your deck choice was it good?
So yeah, first of the predictions, I think they were pretty similar to yours. I
Mm-hmm.
expected either like Fire Nature Rush or heavy control lists. I also didn't think people would go for mid-range lists that are in between, trying to win both sides, play different play styles. I think it was either beat control with your bigger control deck or um, yeah, play against Rush or Rush yourself and try to kill the control decks fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then during the process of choosing the deck, I was basically set on two decks. It was either Phobos because I thought it has a pretty okay matchup against Rush. It's solid enough, and yeah, it's also good against control unless you get mana burned into oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was either Phobos or Rush myself. I was really considering Fire Nature Rush, and like
Ah, okay.
the day before, I was still thinking about it. And because I thought like if Solomon went for Phobos, then I would only see Sam using Rush as well. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Mirror Match wasn't something I wanted to play with Fire Nature Rush. I think that's kind of dumb. That's so basically who wins the die roll, or someone gets completely lucky. But I was quite interested in just playing Rush and trying to high roll and go through the tournament with it because
Mm-hmm.
we are only 8 players, so like the game plan doesn't have to last for so long. You know what I mean? Like in IDC when we play like 5 Swiss rounds and then you have to win 3 more top cut rounds. That's quite a
Yeah.
lot to do with like a yeah single strategy deck like Rush. That's all about going all in.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, uh, I fell back to the safe pick, which is Phobos, because um, yeah, the reasoning behind it was, after all, like when I play Rush, I can lose against yeah, lose because my opponent was lucky and has lucky triggers, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to have that salty feeling that I lost because
Yeah.
of lost because of trigger luck or unfortunate trigger luck. Of course, it can be the other way around. If Rush faces me with Phobos, I have to have trigger luck, and then it's
Mm.
lucky on my part. But um, yeah, I thought that
Eh,
playing Phobos, I have more control, no pun intended, of what
Yeah.
I'm doing, and that yeah, I didn't want to
Yeah.
lose out because of some luck factors.
Yeah. Losing with Fire Nature Rush is like always frustrating. Either you brick on your belt or don't have a turn one play and stuff, and you can't do anything about it, or your opponent has like a trigger luck, and either way you are just frustrated when you lose with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it wins
um,
hard and it loses hard.
yeah, and you could also argue like in our normal IDCs, like playing 8 rounds with Fire Nature Rush, is of course you have like uh, not that high of a variant anymore. Like you play only like 4 decks, you can or 4 games, you can like draw perfectly in the 4 games. But when you play 8 games, the possibility of drawing like really good or your opponent drawing really bad, like reducing, of course, the more games you are playing. And you can also argue like playing 8 rounds with control is a bit much bigger task to ask like only playing like 4 or 5 duels with in the championship IDC, so you have a fresh mind and stuff still going in the grand final.
Yeah, that's true. That's you can also apply that to the other end of the spectrum. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the deck you played, we are quite familiar with your list. You have your own deck profile on YouTube, as you won like a normal IDC as well with the deck, and yeah, give us some insight and some updates about the list.
Yeah, so basically, if you want to know more about the deck, you can check out the deck profiles on it. I made one earlier in IDC 3 or 4, I don't remember, and then the last one in IDC 10. And this looks very close to the IDC 10 list. I only made 2 changes for the tournament, and yeah, I would like to talk about these changes. The first one is definitely a permanent change that I will keep in the future, which is the Blizzard of Spears, which I cut the Searing Wave for. And my thought process behind that was, for one, Searing Wave basically felt only better than Blizzard of Spears when I have Bronze Arm Tribe turn 3 and curve right into it. Which is not that easy to do in a 50 card deck, to be honest. It's not the highest probability to have, first of all, the Bronze Arm Tribe in turn 3, and then also have the one-off Searing Wave ready to fire off. So most of the time, I like the backup plan is to play Dimension Gate on turn 3 and then play Bronze Arm Tribe on turn 4, or you have like a Volcano Charger. So in most of my games, I use a Charger effect on turn 4 rather than turn 3. So next turn I'm already at 6 mana. And then why would I play Searing when Blizzard takes care of more threats like Gonta? So that was one reasoning behind it. Yeah, and of course I don't need to sack a shield, which can come up quite handy against aggro decks. And regarding the shield aspect, that the second point why I cut the Searing Wave was, in early builds, I played it to get my Bolmedius or Cryptic Totem that got snared into the shields, out of the shields, and then I can interact with the graveyard. And since I added the Ghastly Drain, yeah, at least for the last iteration of the deck, since I have the Ghastly Drain in it, I don't have a need for another spell that interacts with the shields. And Ghastly Drain gets them right back to the hand when they get snared, so it's more cost efficient and saves time, and yeah, it's good for the Meltdown combo. So yeah, I didn't need another access to the shields card. And the final small upside Blizzard has, it it sounds weird, but it can kill your own creatures. It sounds a bit dumb, but sometimes it helps to get like your Sky Swords or Fal and Phobos into the grave, so you can get them back with Morbid. Like if the opponent doesn't interact with your board at all, it's just like an aggro deck, and they don't deal with the board. But I need to play them again, and if I don't have swap, the next best thing is to get them out of the grave and hard play them. So yeah, Blizzard was another option where I can get my own stuff to the graveyard.
Yeah, I definitely think this change makes a lot of sense. And again, when you play like a toolbox deck with your forwards, you basically play like 5 copies of Blizzard of Spears and not only one. And yeah, the same goes. You rather want to play like 5 Blizzard of Spears than 5 Searing Waves. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good change. But one question: why did you didn't add like a third burst shot and add the first Blizzard of Spears?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think against Rush, yeah, you really wanted to have the burst shot and shield, so upping the count I could see, but there are like decks like Hydro Hurricane especially, which is very popular right now. I think like every IDC, like at least 2 people play it, and so it has applications against control as well, and like against Hydro Hurricane, Burst Shot, and Volcano are pretty much dead, because like as soon as the first Palaolesis hits the board, those are dead cards and don't do anything. And Blizzard isn't completely dead against Rush. Like if you have it, you are still alive when you can hard play it. It can probably swing the game around. It was just for, like you mentioned, the toolbox aspect. Like I didn't feel the need for a third Burst Shot. I'd rather have another one-off I can search for the situations in which I need them.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
And
any more changes you made with the deck?
Yeah, the second card I changed for this tournament was specifically meant to be a tech for this tournament, which is the Upheaval, and I cut the second Morbid for it. First of all, why did I cut the second Morbid? Because I wanted to keep the colors balanced, and so I needed to cut a Darkness card. And basically anything else I felt was like really needed and was set. I couldn't cut the Ghastly because then I don't have the Meltdown combo. I think the discard package is optimal as it is, in my opinion. And I was afraid to cut a Terror Pit because I thought like against Rush you really want to see those pits or the Burst Shot, and I was too afraid to cut 1 pit and play 3 pit, 1 Upheaval. And Morbid, in theory, as long as it's not in shields and I have access to it, 1 should be enough, because you can recycle it as many times as you want with Farliga. So the only downside...
You could also make an argument for like cutting a pit and then playing 2 Morbids, but then also cutting the Blizzard for a third Burst Shot, so you basically trade 1 for 1 against the Rush matchups, but have like your second Morbid over the Blizzard in this case.
Yeah, that makes sense to keep the shield triggers balanced. I didn't even think that far, because I was already set on the Blizzard, because that change I made that I think not right after IDC 10, but like very soon after it. So I was playing with Blizzard for quite some time already, and the 2 Morbids. So it was just a question, what do I cut for Upheaval? And the Morbid made the most sense. The only downside to it is that like in a top deck war against other control decks, you are less likely to top deck the Morbid, which can get you back into the game. That's of course.
Also, if it's as you said, if it gets stuck in the shields, then I mean you still have access to Ghastly Drain to get it out, but of course you can pick up the wrong shields, as you like rarely pick up all of your shields. And,
that's true. You don't want to pick up all, and then you have to fish for it. So it getting stuck in shields is a problem, and like you don't top deck it that frequently anymore. So I'm also not sure if I want to keep the Upheaval, but as we talked about what I cut, why did I want to play it? So I think it's it's a win button against some decks. Like if you have a Cryptic or Bolmides up and you can play it, and they don't have like cheap cards like Spirogate or Soul Swap to deal with it, then it can result in a win that's faster than like needing to attack like 2-3 turns with Bolmides, and they have a chance every time to top deck and out to it. And the other reason was it's not only against control, also like against rush or aggro, it isn't even that bad. If they attack you and it comes out late or like in the middle, like 3rd, 4th shield, I would say, then you can easily win if you have like a mass removal charged already, and you can dump your whole hand into the mana zone. Then you can play the mass removal next turn. You can win off of that. So if it's in shields against rush or aggro, it's also good. So it was pseudo trigger against Rush that I added.
Yeah.
Not that reliable, but still could come up. And yeah, the main reason why I added, it's a win button and it's slightly good against Russian aggro. The main reason was I was afraid of bigger controls, I was expecting
Mana burn, for example.
I was expecting you to play deck out, and I was also expecting Halfa to play mana burn, and those decks can give me a pretty hard time. So I wanted to have like another not out to those decks, but like if I know I lose the Lost Soul race, I can play Upheaval and hope for the best, or I can just like clamp early discard and then hope the Upheaval gets me there because I charge faster. Yeah, it just was meant to be against those heavy control decks to have an answer if I know I won't win the Lost Soul race and win off of that. That was basically the thought process behind that.
Yeah, definitely having Upheaval brings up a whole another dynamic to the game, because like if you have a Lost Soul charged and then if you play Upheaval, get the Lost Soul back, and you are really charging so fast with like your Brosum Tribes and Sky Swords and Volcano Charge, you have like 10 chargers or 10 extra mana generators and 50 cards, and other decks may not play like these amount of cards to charge extra mana, then you are definitely ahead again, and it can turn a game around. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so but I'm not sure if I will keep it in, to be honest, because like this tournament it didn't impact any game really. I can't remember a game where I say I won just because of that Upheaval. I think I used it. I think I used it like with Volmedius on board once, and that like secured the game, but I think I could have won that also just like normally. So the main downside I see with Upheaval in this deck is like you don't generate too many cards in hand until you're really late into the game, where you have like 2 or 3 Phobos on board. That's where you get like the card advantage. So and at that point my thought process was like, at that point I probably won anyway if I make that much card advantage. Why should I play Upheaval? But then against like Russia and aggro, they give you free card advantage from shield, so against that might be the reason why I keep it in, but I'm not too sure if it helps the control matchup that much.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure on that, but yeah, the Blizzard is definitely. I'm very glad I made that change.
Yeah. So we will keep an eye on the deck for sure, because we will see it, I guess, more at times either from you or from other players in the community. So we will keep an eye on the future changes or possible changes, and let's just move on to the bracket itself, and obviously we have like with Hymne together the longest tournament history, I guess. Making it all the way to grand finals and even winning it. So talk us through your tournament experience.
So round 1, I played against Live, and he was on Hydro Hurricane, but it was more of a mid-range list, or like the list was very catered towards aggro, beating like the aggro matchup. Played very many blockers, I think, that you don't see in the typical Hydro Hurricane lists. And we talked already about it in your interview, that it wasn't too great against control. So he packed a lot of cards that didn't really do much against my deck. It was just the blockers didn't generate any advantage, and as long as I could keep the Hydro Hurricane from resolving, it was pretty easy to navigate through that. And that's why I also won 2-0, yeah, it was not because of like his place or something. It was just the deck didn't have a great matchup there. Then I was afraid of Sam, who was on Rush, but we talked already in your interview a bit about the shuffling. The shuffling process really helped me, I think, because it gave me a good matchup in my bracket with Hymne, but he was already there. That was known because he got third place. He was the third seed. But then I was really afraid that Live was on Rug aggro because that's a deck he is known for and won IDC with, and Sam on Rush. So I thought, yeah, the bracket could be a nightmare for me with so many fast aggro decks. But then luckily Live didn't bring his aggro deck, and Hymne took out Fire Nature Rush, one of the worst matchups for the deck for me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
you had like a 50-50 possibility to favor Rush deck in Solomon and Toxic Sam, but luckily you dodged
luckily
it.
I dodged Sam in round 1. Otherwise, that could have been a whole different tournament experience. And then round 2 against Hymne. I don't want to talk smack about him. It was just how the matchup should play out. He plays Elsonius, and the thing is, Elsonius can deal with either mass removal or shield regeneration. Like for example, your deck, the deck out deck, it has mass removal and it can survive that if it gets Elsonius out early enough, and then that color combination has a hard time getting to Bazagazil and trading with it. Also against, like, if he faced Halfa, for example, Fortress doesn't have the mass removal but has shield regeneration. But if he puts up a big enough board, he can still come through that shield regeneration. But his problem is that Phobos has both. It has like Sky Sword, which then curves into Bazagazil and mass removal. So like I can just hide behind many shields and then mass remove his board, and I'm quick to Bazagazil. Like normally, like decks, if Elsonius gets dropped, they need like a turn or two to answer it, and Phobos can probably, if you played Sky Sword turn 5 and you went first, then you can just swap out Bazagazil the turn after Elsonius drops and deal with it. So that match was also quite one-sided. And then the first challenge appeared in the winners bracket semis against Claude, against Hydra Hurricane. That's close to a 50-50 matchup because like both are control decks, and don't have like, there's no clear-cut favorite in that matchup, I would say. Like the biggest thing for me is to remove his Mistrias from board as soon as possible, because if that starts steamrolling, then I'm pretty much done. And I remember game 1, I made a crucial misplay because I could have played it safely. I could have I was on 0 shields already, and we were both pretty low on resources. And I remember that I could have played just Sky Sword and a blocker, I believe, onto his board of Palaolesis and 1 attacker, and he had 0 cards in hand. And then I decided to mass remove his board, like the attacker and the Palaolesis, which left me at 0 shields. And then as soon as I did the play and passed, I thought to myself, he was at 11 mana. Yeah, top deck Zombie Carnival kills me now. And he top decks the Zombie Carnival for Laura Giga and Glena. So I could have played around
Nothing
that.
You can do,
because like if I played Sky Sword plus blocker, I would have at least lived, because I could have blocked 1 attack and had 1 shield to eat up the other attack, so I wouldn't lose. So looking back at it, it was like that bite me, and so he he was leading 1-0, and yeah, I know the feeling how to lose against Hydra Hurricane. I lost many matches against it, especially the one against Hymne in IDC 4, I believe, is still in my mind. And then I had to climb back the being down 1-0 because of an obvious mistake I made. Wasn't feeling too great, but then I think he did misplay in game 2 or 3 that also helped me quite a lot. And the other game I won was I think I had a very good curve, and he didn't play too much stuff out, and I could clamp him early, and he couldn't get Mist Rias out. So yeah, nothing he could do. And then then I was waiting in the grand finals. I could sit back and watch what happened in the losers bracket, and I'm honest, I was more afraid that I face Claude Alpha again, because I only won 2-1 against him, and now I remember one game in semis, it was really close. Like, it could have easily been 2-0 or 2-1 for him. So I was definitely more afraid of facing him again, because he has the better matchup against me.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I saw Hymne win his round, I was very happy, because I beat him 2-0. I know I have the better matchup, and then everything unexpected that could happen happened. I lost the first match in the finals against him, and I don't know what really happened there. Like, the game I won was probably how the matchup plays out, and then the other 2 games I think was a combination of me not being able to play a card until like turn 5, and he had like Elsonius already, and anything I played was too late. Like, I bricked so hard, like 2 games, and he had like very good, like not very good hands, but average hands, and that's enough if you can have like some curve into Elsonius.
If you start the game on turn 5, then like obviously against every deck you go up against,
you should be losing. It's definitely deserved to lose if you just start playing the game at turn 5. And then the double elimination came into my favor, because I was also allowed to lose 1 round, and so we played another match, and then I thought, like, in the beginning, now it's my time to win this, and suddenly he leads 1-0 again. So I thought maybe it's some like miracle of destiny happening, and Hymne deserves to win this tournament. But then I came back, and like the last 2 games were pretty much they felt like the 2 games we played in round 2, nothing he could do. Like, I had all my plays, and you don't come through with Elsonius when I can spam Sky Swords and have the Mass Removal and Bazagazil ready. So
it's
in the end I could take it.
Definitely well deserved from your part in making a good deck choice, and also dodging like the bad matchups, and winning the 50-50 matchups. So definitely a well fought win. And I think when reflecting back, you played like 3 times against Hymne, which is obviously a disadvantage in a double elimination bracket, I guess. So you played like 2 Hydro Hurricanes and 3 Elsonius decks, so you basically only played against two different decks. But the Hydro Hurricanes were also differently built, so it's not quite the same deck there, but the same signature card, I would say. And is there anything more you want to say about the tournament bracket before we come to the structure?
About my own bracket, I think like you said, I have to say or like admit that I definitely got paired well into the tournament. Like you said, I played 3 times against a favorable matchup in Hymne and Elsonius, so that was quite lucky. But also, you need some luck to win a tournament. Like even if Phobos is like on our top 5 decks in tier 1, it doesn't mean like it's guaranteed. There are still like the other tier 1 decks that all can beat it, in my opinion, and also some tier 2 decks that are just like specifically catered to counter control decks that can win it. So it's not like always that every match is on easy mode and you can just 2-0 everybody and win a tournament.
Yeah.
There's always luck involved in that. And so definitely I was lucky that I didn't face like the counter decks, like the counter control decks and the Fire Nature Rush ones.
Yeah, definitely. As we said also in my interview, there's also in winning like a tournament, going through so much games, you basically win some games where you have some luck, and you lose some games where you have some bad luck, and you have to hope that your luck outweighs the bad luck. And so but it's also a consistency thing. There's also going through the deck choice and the card choices in the deck to make it as consistent as possible as you did with your list. And I think that is one of the most optimal list. Like maybe in the future changing like 1-2 cards, but I think overall you made the deck so consistent that you basically forced yourself on having some luck. I know when we play, you always have some trigger luck, but of course it's when you generate so much fields with guys, but when you basically have like 8 fields every game, then of course your trigger luck is increasing also. So it's like playing to your luck, and I think you did a great job there.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. And I agree. I think the deck pretty much at this point is nearly solved. I didn't say that like maybe a year ago, but now, like you said, I think it's just about like tech choices, like 1 or 2 slots where you can read the tournament before and say, I need more against aggro, I need more against control, and then adapt there. But like the core, I think, is pretty much set at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So going into the tournament structure, the double elimination and the shuffling at the start, how do you feel about that?
So I at the beginning I wasn't too happy about double elimination. Of course, for me personally, it worked out very well. So if I look at it from like this tournament subjective perspective, I would say it was a good structure because I could dodge many bad matchups. I went through the tournament and it worked out fine. But in general, I don't know if it's the perfect structure for the future. But also, I don't not have a suggestion what would be clearly better. I don't have a system where I say, this is definitely better. The shuffling, I think it was fine. Maybe we could experiment more with like keeping it set or shuffling everything random. Because like if we look at this tournament, it didn't really help the top 4 that much that they didn't get paired against each other. Like maybe again, like Hymne would have clearly liked to be in the upper bracket with Claude and you, and like for me it was like lucky that Hymne was in my bracket, and like Spalding, like you and Claude would have liked to be in my bracket. So maybe it's a good idea to shuffle all participants so it's completely random. Basically everybody has the same chance. Of course, then it's not it's not the best reward
to rewarded for getting like the
you don't get rewarded
the first
you don't get,
it doesn't matter if you get like first or eighth.
That's the problem with it. You don't get rewarded for getting first place, but maybe it's not even that important if you get rewarded for that. Like, just reward the top 8 players. However they finished, it doesn't matter. They are still the top 8, and shuffle everybody. Then I think that's maybe better than changing up the system completely into another structure, because like I would say the normal IDC structure isn't that great with 8 people. Like Swiss, yeah, I think Swiss is quite lame, because like one loss and you're out. It's
Yeah.
That
You can't win the tournament
anymore. Yeah, you can't win the tournament anymore. I think that takes away from like the exciting factor of the tournament. And we thought about like league format, like round robin, that you play every person once, but then you have like 7 rounds, which is quite long, but not, if you look at it, it's not that much longer than double elimination. So it could work, but that has the problem that some decks are automatically out of contention, because when you play everybody, you pick a deck that's good against like everybody, against every deck in the playing field. And I think then the meta game would be like more mid-rangey or mid-rangey controls, because stuff like Fire Nature Rush, I think I wouldn't say can't win, but it's definitely harder to win if you have to face like 6 different people instead of just like winning 4 rounds, I think. And I don't want to like push the game into a direction where like stuff like Rush can't win, because as much as we hate on the deck and say it's annoying to play against, I think it's well deserved to be in the meta game, and definitely right there to balance the meta game. And a deck that you should be allowed to play a deck that high rolls against specific matchups. Like you could also look at the other end of the spectrum, like a very hard control, like with Mana Bonanza and stuff, that like loses against Rush but wins you the control matchups if you anticipate all control and the deck is consistent enough to win 4 rounds. I think you should be rewarded for that. So
I think definitely in going like everyone plays everyone, it definitely favors all-round deck like Phobos, for example, which has good matchups all over the board. It doesn't matter if you play against like Rush, at least it isn't unwinnable with like some decks you mentioned. The Rush matchup is Mana Bonanza is pretty unwinnable, and also vice versa when you play with Fire Nature Rush against like Deck Out, for example, which I played, which plays so much stuff against them. So I think playing everyone against everyone is a format where the most flexible and versatile deck is definitely favored, and I don't know if that's the ultimate goal for our championship IDC. I think we want to reward the best player for I think like overall picking a good deck for this situation and playing good and stuff, and not only like picking the most versatile deck and then just play through. I'm not sure that's the goal of the championship IDC.
I definitely agree, and that's why I say like I liked the double elimination for my personal outcome. I didn't like the format in general too much, because at the end of the tournament you face like the same decks face each other multiple times, so it gets kind of boring, like a little bit. But overall I think it's not the worst. Like for now I think it's the best option we have, because like there's no other option that I heard of yet that I would say that's definitely better than double elimination, let's use that one. So I think maybe we could just toy around with the seeding at the beginning. But overall,
we had a
keep it.
Democratic vote about what to do in the beginning, like stay the seeding as it is or shuffle everything, shuffle 5 to 8, and most people voted for the shuffling 5 to 8, which we did. Maybe we can do something similar with the tournament structure, like making a vote about double elimination and some other options, and then just let the people vote what they want to play I think.
Yeah, I think that's also like the best option. Just let the players decide everything, like we did that like for most of all decisions. Like we just asked for these 8 players' opinions. We didn't want to make a general vote with everyone because like it would be, I think, a bit unfair if the player base that plays this particular tournament gets affected by the decision of someone who isn't even attending that.
Yeah.
And on the voting stuff, a quick side note. I think we also said it in the player interview with Hymne already, but for if you missed that, we voted on the upside the winners bracket winner should have. Like if we keep it the standard way double elimination is, so every player is allowed to lose 1 round, or if we like downgrade the winners prize a bit so that you can have like a bit more chances coming down from the losers bracket. So we thought about that the winners bracket winner only wins the die roll. And
sure.
Funnily enough, if enough people would have voted on that, Hymne would be the champion because I won the die roll in the first match of the finals. So basically that was the reward, and he won the match. So the saddest thing from his part is that I think he voted the other way around. I don't know, but yeah, like the basically what you should get from this was that if we had voted for this iteration, then Hymne would be the winner because I won the die roll.
Yeah, it's quite some insight. Yeah, true. I didn't remember that we also voted about this. I think it was like winning 1 game and still playing a best of 3. Oh no, it was like winning the die roll. It was like playing a best of 5, but the winner's bracket winner got 1 game for free.
Yeah.
And then the 2 best of 3s. I think that was the 3 options.
Yeah. Those were the 3 options, and I think like nobody really liked the 1 game ahead thing. Then one has to win 2 and the other one has to win 3 out of 4. And so basically the people just voted either for the die roll or the just keep it double elimination pure. And but overall I think the tournament structure was fine. There is definitely room to improve, but I don't think we have the perfect solution yet.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks for your insight about your deck and the tournament. And are there any last words, famous last words you want to tell our viewers?
I don't think so. I think just the last words I would say is if you want, definitely participate in our IDC tournaments. Then you can be one of the top 8 players sometimes. If you participate enough and do well enough, maybe we will talk with you on the channel about your deck and maybe your winning deck. So if you are interested in playing Duel Masters, then definitely join our Discord and participate in our tournaments.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we will leave a description down below, a link, and if not, just write in the comments, and we will come up to you and give you the Discord link. Yeah, so thanks again for having your insights from the championship IDC winner, and have a great day.